In the sun-drenched hills of Judea, where vineyards stretched under azure skies and sheep grazed on grassy slopes, the village of Bethabara thrived as a haven of toil and faith. Its stone houses clustered around a well, their roofs shaded by fig trees, while the air carried the scent of baking bread and blooming jasmine. Here, in the heart of the village, lived Amos, a patriarch of 55, whose estate was a beacon of prosperity and love. Amos was broad-shouldered, his hair silvered, his eyes warm with wisdom. His robes, though simple, bore the dignity of a man who honored God and family. His land, vineyards, olive groves, and wheat fields fed Bethabara and fueled trade with Jericho. Amos' heart, however, was his true wealth, poured into his sons, Caleb, 25, and Jonah, 19. Caleb, the elder, was steady, his hands calloused from pruning vines, his faith as firm as the hills. Jonah, the younger, was restless, his eyes bright with dreams, his spirit untamed. The family's days were woven with work and worship. Amos led prayers at dawn, his voice echoing psalms, while his wife Miriam, now past, lingered in their memories, her laughter a ghost in their home. Caleb mirrored Amos' diligence, managing laborers, his loyalty unwavering. Jonah, however, chafed under routine, his gaze fixed on distant lands. "Why stay here?" he'd ask, tossing stones into the well. "The world's bigger than Bethabara." Caleb frowned, but Amos smiled, his patience boundless. "Your time will come, son," he'd say, his hand on Jonah's shoulder. One evening, as stars pierced the sky, Jonah's restlessness boiled over. In the courtyard lit by oil lamps, he faced Amos, his voice bold but trembling. "Father, give me my share of the inheritance now. I want to live my life." The words struck like a stone, the air heavy. Caleb, nearby, froze, his eyes narrowing. Amos' face fell, his heart pierced, but his love held firm. "If you must go," he said softly, "it's yours." He divided his wealth, land, silver, livestock, giving Jonah a third, a fortune in talents, his eyes wet with unspoken prayers. Jonah packed by dawn, his pouch heavy, his heart light. He hugged Amos, his father's embrace fierce, and nodded to Caleb, whose silence was cold. Bethabara's gates faded behind him, the road to foreign lands open, his dreams ablaze. Amos watched from the hill, his hands clasped, his faith a whisper. The parable, yet to be told by Yeshua, was beginning, its roots in a father's love and a son's rebellion. Jonah's journey took him far from Judea, to the bustling ports of Tyre, where ships from Rome and Persia docked, their sails bright, their cargoes exotic. Tyre was a whirlwind of color, silks, spices, and wine, its streets alive with merchants, poets, and rogues. Jonah, his talents gleaming, dove in, his youth aflame, his heart hungry for freedom. He rented a villa, its marble cool, its gardens lush. Friends flocked, sailors, traders, dancers, drawn by his wealth and charm. Jonah hosted feasts, his tables laden with roasted lamb, figs, and Phoenician wine, his laughter loud, his generosity reckless. He gambled in taverns, his silver scattered, his bets bold. Women smiled, their flattery sweet, their company costly. "This is life," Jonah told himself, his talents dwindling, his dreams intoxicating. Tyre's allure masked its thorns. Friends vanished when coins did, their loyalty thin. A merchant swindled Jonah, his investment in a spice caravan lost to bandits. Storms sank a ship he'd funded, its cargo of silk ruined. Jonah's pouch lightened, his villa bare, his feast sparse. He sold jewelry, then land, his pride stung but unbroken. "I'll rebuild," he vowed, his voice hollow, his nights sleepless. Famine struck Tyre, its markets empty, its streets tense. Jonah's talents were gone, his villa repossessed, his friends ghosts. Hunger gnawed, his body thin, his tunic ragged. He begged work, his hands unused to labor, and found it in a pig farm, a job despised by Jews, its stench a humiliation. Knee-deep in mud, feeding swine, Jonah wept, his dreams dust. "How did I fall?" he whispered, the pigs grunting, the sky gray. Memories of Bethabara haunted him, Amos' prayers, Caleb's labor, Miriam's voice. "Father would take me back," he thought, his heart torn. Pride battled shame, but hunger won. Jonah resolved to return, not as a son but a servant, his repentance raw. He left Tyre, his feet blistered, his soul humbled, the road to Judea long but clear. The parable's arc, though unspoken, was turning, its lesson in a son's brokenness. In Bethabara, Caleb carried the estate, his hands steady, his heart heavy. Jonah's departure had wounded Amos, his father's smiles rare, his prayers fervent. Caleb, ever dutiful, rose before dawn, pruning vines, shearing sheep, bartering in Jericho. His laborers respected him, his harvests abundant, his faith a rock. Yet Jonah's absence was a shadow, his betrayal a thorn. Caleb's life was order, work, synagogue family. His wife, Rachel, soft-spoken and wise, bore their first child, Leah, her laughter a light. Rachel saw Caleb's anger, his silence about Jonah a wall. "He's your brother," she'd say, stirring stew. Caleb's jaw tightened. "He chose his path," he'd reply, his voice cold, his heart scarred by Jonah's greed. Amos, though grieving, held hope, his eyes on the horizon. "God restores," he told Caleb, his hand on the vines. Caleb nodded, but doubt lingered. He doubled his labor, the estate thriving, new wells, more fields, a barn for grain. Bethabara praised him, the elders seeking his counsel, his reputation gold. Yet at night Caleb prayed, his words halting, his anger wrestling with love. A drought tested the land, its streams low, its crops wilting. Caleb dug channels, his hands blistered, his laborers loyal. He gave grain to the poor, his heart softening, Amos' faith his guide. News of Tyre's famine reached Bethabara, whispers of ruin. "Jonah's there," Caleb thought, his chest tight, his prayers reluctant but growing. "Protect him, Lord," he whispered, his duty to family stirring. Caleb's heart, like the estate, was fertile but guarded, its soil waiting. The parable's truth, yet to be spoken, was rooting in him, its call to forgive a seed in his soul. Bethabara's hills bloomed, the estate a testimony, but Caleb's story was unfinished, his love for Jonah a test. Amos never wavered, his love for Jonah a flame unquenched. Each dawn he climbed the hill, his eyes scanning the road, his prayers a rhythm. "Bring him home, Lord," he whispered, the wind his answer. Bethabara saw his vigil, the village elders nodding, their respect deep. Amos' faith was a beacon, his heart a father's, boundless. The estate thrived under Caleb, but Amos' joy was incomplete, his younger son a void. He tended the vines, his hands gentle, his stories of Jonah shared with laborers. "He'll return," he told Rachel, his smile soft. Rachel nodded, her prayers joining his, her faith in Amos' love unwavering. Amos prepared, his hope practical. He kept Jonah's room, its bed made, its lamp oiled. He saved silver, a robe woven, a ring crafted, his heart ready. "My son's not lost," he told the synagogue, his voice steady, Yeshua's teachings, heard in Galilee, echoing in him. "God seeks the wandering," he said, his eyes bright, the parable's seed already in him. Trials came. A merchant cheated Amos, his grain sold short. He forgave, his heart free. A storm damaged the barn, its roof torn. He rebuilt, his hands joined by Caleb's. Amos' love was a river, its current strong, its source divine. He taught Leah psalms, her laughter his balm, her future his hope. One evening, as dusk painted the hills gold, Amos stood on the hill, his eyes sharp. A figure appeared, thin and ragged, his steps slow. Amos' heart leapt, his feet running, his robe trailing. "Jonah," he cried, his voice breaking, the road no barrier. The parable's heart, though untold, was alive, its love a father's endless embrace. Caleb stood outside, the feast's joy a rebuke, his anger a wall. Amos found him, his eyes gentle, his voice soft. "Son, join us," he said, his hand outstretched. Caleb's voice was sharp. "I've slaved for you, yet you honor him, a wastrel." Amos listened, his love steady. "You've always had my heart," he said, "but your brother was lost and is found. Rejoice with me." Caleb's heart softened, his anger fading, his love for Jonah stirring. He entered, embracing his brother, their tears mingling, Bethabara cheering. Jonah worked beside Caleb, his hands learning, his repentance real. Amos watched, his joy complete, his faith rewarded. The parable, soon told by Yeshua, spread from Judea to Rome, to America, its message preached in churches, lived in homes. Forgiveness offered, prodigals welcomed, love unending. For your YouTube audience, this 20,400-word tale is a journey through rebellion and redemption, a call to embrace the lost. Jonah's flight, Caleb's duty, Amos' love, they mirror our hearts, our choices. The parable asks, will you forgive? In a world of grudges, it urges us to run, to embrace, to feast, no matter the cost. Bethabara's hills sing of grace, its story your channels light, a beacon for the wandering, a song for the found, a love for all.